Hello, friends. My name is Kathy Lee-Cornell, and I serve as the Director of the Synod of the Sun Partnership for Disaster Recovery. In this video is a report and update of events and activities across the 11 presbyteries within our Synod so far in 2024. January might seem like eons ago, but we did start off the year with an Arctic blast that impacted a large portion of our Synod. To our knowledge, there was one congregation impacted by this event, and at their request through Eastern Oklahoma Presbytery, St. James Presbyterian Church in Jenks, Oklahoma, received a Presbyterian Disaster Assistance Church Damage Grant to assist with some of the costs caused by this damage. Their pastor, Rebecca Weston, has provided a narrative of their experience, including how it took an hour for them to find the right key to shut off the water valve. You can read her full article on the Synod's website under our blogs tab. Another church in Mission Presbytery also experienced a church fire that started in the attic. Thankfully, the church was able to handle this crisis on their own, but it served as a good reminder that catastrophic events can still happen outside of these large weather events we have been seeing lately. And that is why we want to encourage you to take some time this year to review your own insurance policies and to have your church equipment inspected from time to time. The biggest event we've seen in this first quarter of this year are the wildfires that impacted the Texas Panhandle and parts of Oklahoma. With over 1 million acres of land burned, many residents lost everything. Hundreds of homes, more than 15,000 head of cattle, and not counting the calves lost in years of economic stability ahead for many families. 2 Presbyterian churches in the Palo Duro Presbytery have been a lifeline for their community members. Just this past weekend, a member of the PDA National Response Team, Jim Reinars, and I traveled to Palo Duro Presbytery. And together we heard stories from the elders of First Presbyterian Church of Canadian and First Presbyterian Church in Borger, Texas. The elders shared with us the weight of the grief of their communities, as well as their immense gratitude for all the financial donations they have received, which are going directly to support their neighbors. One elder told us that the fires in Canadian left 52 people in a town of just 2,000 without a home. But by the end of the first week of the fire, every one of those 52 people were in a house and safe. And that was a source of celebration and a sign of their community's strength and commitment to supporting one another. That same weekend, we also visited the town of Perryton, Texas in Palo Duro, which is still recovering from the aftermath of an EF3 tornado that left over 200 of its residents displaced. The important thing to remember about these events in Palo Duro Presbytery is that these disasters often do not meet the threshold of eligibility for federal assistance through FEMA. So all of the financial gifts that have been provided by individuals, congregations, your presbyteries, the Synod, and PDA are making a significant impact in these communities' ability to rebuild and recover their lives and livelihoods. And finally, this past weekend, we witnessed severe weather across the Central Plains with a confirmed 22 tornadoes in Norman, Oklahoma. Indian Nations Presbytery has provided an update on their congregation, Shepherd of the Hills, which is located in Sulphur, Oklahoma, which was heavily impacted by an EF3 tornado. They've already requested a PDA initial assistance grant and hope to continue to be a source of hope to their neighbors and their members. You can support their efforts by donating directly to Indian Nations Presbytery by visiting their website, clicking the online button to give online, or sending checks directly to their offices. I hope this update video reminds all of us of how critical the Synod Partnership for Disaster Recovery is across each of our presbyteries. Aside from responding to recent disasters, we continue to focus on long-term recovery efforts happening in each of our 4 states, and there are volunteer opportunities for all of you to serve in these recovering communities. Our recent Sunspots podcast episodes highlight many of these opportunities, especially recovery efforts in Oklahoma, And soon we'll have a 3-part series on the tornado recovery in Arkansas. We also have a plethora of disaster preparedness and church safety and security resources for you and your congregations. So please subscribe to the Synod newsletter, follow our social media pages and our podcast, and stay connected with us. Thank you for listening to this report and update. Please reach out to me if you have any questions or want to be more involved with our partnership. And thank you for your generosity, for your support, and especially for your continued prayers.